brains. Wait, are we on? Oh, shit. What's up, guys? Welcome to season 4, episode 3. All right, so we have a full program. Guys, to give you a full contrast, we are doing it in the gi, even though we did in the gi last week. And to provide for full contrast, we downgraded Enrique to white belt. I have exciting news, guys. Again, the two questions that I got that are very interesting and I want to address. They're both on the BJJ Fanatics DVD. One is on the split guard, and the other one is also on the split guard. Yeah. Two different questions. One is almost the very beginning, and one is sort of at the very end. So I think it's going to be good to address. And guys, I have exciting news. So I talked to BJJ Fanatics, and for my viewers, because last week people were very excited, especially I think about the Triangle DVD. It's not a DVD, it's instructional, whatever it is. And people were actually supposedly buying it while they were watching. So guys, in the future, if you get excited about my instructionals on BJJ Fanatics and you decide to buy them right then and there, put in Fox 25 as a discount code. You should be getting 25% off, which is pretty material discount. So Fox 25 for my viewers only.
Yes.
Don't share. Share the content. Don't share the code. At least make them watch through the first 3 minutes of this to get to the code. All right, guys. So let's look at this thing. So first question was from Nelson Kingman. So it's a good question. So he has a hard time entering into split guard from when the guy's standing, especially with the gi, and the guy's holding on to the gi. So guys, one of the first things I tell you, if the move or the technique is not there, do not insist. Do something else. This is one of those instances. So with the gi, I generally will try to, strip if he's in my closed guard. In this guard, it's too easy for him to just shove my leg down, okay? So I don't have that time. So you cannot insist on split guard, but we will get there, and I'll show you very easily how. Guys, first of all, when the guy is shoving your leg down too easily, you can't just kind of keep it there. You need to put it, instead of the hip, put it just above his knee and put tension into it. This allows you to pivot, use his body, and I usually when this happens, I will put my left foot on his shin, so I go shin to shin. So that way I want to make sure that if he does shove my leg down, I can still lift and off balance him and regain. So this is very important. With the guard, guys, I'm looking for two things from the guard. Ideally 3, but at least 2 things. To stop him from moving forward and to back out. Those are essential, otherwise it's not guard. If he can do whatever he wants, you're not being guarded. It should not be called a guard. All right? Now, the third thing I'd like to look from my guard is obviously to start attacking as well. And that requires off-balancing, all right? So anytime I'm looking for split guard, usually, which is both feet on the hips, this is not necessarily a good thing because it's easy for him to shove my leg down and start to move around. So how do we stop that? So first, when I feel that this is happening where he's grabbing my gi, I know I'm not going to clear this that quickly. So I move my foot from the hip down closer to his knee and put tension into it. My other leg goes in front of his leg, shin to shin guard, okay? And now I'm going to grab, so I don't necessarily strip, but I'm grabbing the sleeve and I'm grabbing by the armpit and I start to drag. So notice that by off balancing him, he's going to put his hand on the floor. Almost always, hold on, I'm trying to explain, don't make me put it on. When you drag somebody, especially when I have shin to shin guard, I have the possibility to start attacking the back. Everybody knows this. This is one of the things that people get very good at defending early on. So as he tries to recover the hand, and now I'm in split guard. And now we go straight into the initial threat, which is the short armbar. Okay? So let's look at it again. Guys, the pieces are very important, but the single most important piece of advice I can give you, and this applies to everything you do in jiu-jitsu. If the move is not there, try something different, okay? That applies to anything. Enrique is my guard. Posture up. Should I try a triangle? No, absolutely not. Because if I do, it will fail and it'll get my guard pass. So from here, I will probably go into spider guard, okay? So, get back down, please. So again, if Enrique is down here, would I try an armbar right now? No, I probably would attack cross collar choke. So a lot of times when you are in situations, and this is one of the big benefits of flow rolling, is it slows things down and lowers the intensity where you have time to think. And as you think, you start to implement what is available, what is logical to use at that particular point in time. So you do not try to force something. This happens and this drives me crazy, especially when I'm teaching a class. And you know, if it's a more advanced pair of people training, I'm more okay with it where they give some resistance. But you got two relative beginners who don't know anything and they're trying to thwart each other. All right, do you understand that you might be, you know what he's doing because we're drilling this for the last 10 minutes. So now you decide that you're gonna not give him that. But you understand that you are giving him something else. They usually don't think it through that much. Oh, this move doesn't work, I'm taking it away from you. Yeah, because you know exactly what he's trying to do. And he's done it to you 15 times and you figured out a way how to thwart that move. But you understand every time you thwart a move, you're giving something else up. So, if your training partner is not giving you that, that's okay. The split guard is not there. So again, Enrique has a strong grip on my gi. I know I'm not gonna strip it that fast. So right now, his forward progression can resume very easily. So what I'm going to do is, you can sort of start to pull here. That will put more tension into the foot. But what we're going to do is, if I'm trying to get into split guard from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower my leg because his knee's a little closer to me than his hip, which allows me to sort of start to put a little tension and start to push. My left leg will circle in and go to shin to shin. What I'm going to do now is push with my right and start to almost lift with my left. So I'm lifting in that direction. And just like that, he plants his hand on the floor. If he stays there, I will attack his back. Okay? I'm going to heist and whatever attacks I have from here, you know, could be arm bars, could be a whole lot of slew of different things. But again, if he stays, I take what he gives me. All right? So, as he tries to regain, to come back to the middle, I just overshoot. I pass my torso into the armpit, and now we have split guard with the associated attacks. All right, let's do it one more time, maybe facing this way so they can see. So again, I'm not going to strip this grip anytime soon. So I'm going to move my foot from his hip to his knee. My left foot circles in. Even if he's standing pretty close, circle in, I have it. Now I start to push with my right foot. My left starts to lift, and his hand goes on the floor. As he's trying to recover, I'm going to move it just outside, and now I have deep split guard. Deep split guard. What I mean by deep is where the guy is pretty exposed, not just to a sweep, but basically to a quick submission. Let's try to do one more angle. This is important. So, again, as he recovers, guys, don't be lazy. So as he's trying to recover, he's trying to put his hand back to where it came from. So as he's recovering, I move his wrist. As he's pulling, I don't pull him forward. I let him move it outside. I sit up to make sure if I try to move it outside here, he can recover. I move it, I fence it off between my torso, and then I sit back. Now I'm in split guard. So, Nelson, I hope that it works better for you after this explanation. And again, guys, if you're buying so far, I have 4 instructionals, Fox 25.
If they use the 25% off 4 times, do they get 100% off?
No, it doesn't work like that.
Also, Enrique's sandbagging. If you look on the other side, he's actually a yellow belt instead of a white belt.
I was going to promote him at the end of the podcast if he did really well as a Uke.
Why is this a yellow belt?
I'll tell you why it says a yellow belt, because we ran out of yellow belts and I was going to promote somebody to a yellow belt, and that was my best impression of a yellow belt. So now we go to a question from David Feiner. He's a regular viewer from Canada. Again, his question is also on split guard, but it's on the final. So this one from Nelson was kind of at the beginning. How do you set things up? It's easier to set up split guard when the guy's on his knees. When he's standing, I still use it quite a lot. Guys, don't forget, Urigatame, it is a form of split guard too. That works really well when the guy is standing over you and trying to pass your guard. But David's is more, so as you know from split guard, basically what it does is breaks your opponent's posture, that's one, misaligns him, and exposes his head and arm. So as such, it allows you to immediately attack, whether it's a short armbar if he's kind of square up to you, triangle if he turns a little further away, omoplata if he turns all the way, and sometimes guys just put themselves into an inverted armbar. To me, the inverted armbar is probably the most difficult out of the 4 submissions, and it's rare. Most people will probably, most higher level guys will probably give you omoplata because it's probably easiest thing for them to defend. So when they give you inverted armbar, if you do this well, particularly if you have that armpit grip, it's extremely tight. So David's question was, how do you drill it? You can drill it solo. So I'm going to go through the movement. I'm going to do it solo. You can drill it solo, but the reality is you need to drill it with someone who's flexible, but also not super flexible. It doesn't have to be fully flexible, but there's things you can do to lighten up on the pressure, okay, to make sure you don't accidentally break your training partner's arm. Yeah, this one is really tough because this is probably out of the 3, so short armbar, triangle, and omoplata, I would consider fairly, fundamental moves in BJJ. The inverted armbar is an advanced one, so it requires some knowledge and some control over your body to make sure you could do this. But let's look at what I mean first, and then I'm going to try to do it solo. So when I hit some, and the guy starts to turn away. So first thing I try to do is block his far side arm so he cannot retract it all together. He cannot roll completely freely. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to roll up on my shoulder. Notice that I'm flaring out my arm like up. If I keep it here, this gets too tight too quickly. So I'm opening my arm up a little bit to make sure that I don't accidentally finish him. Now, I actually have a finish here, okay? But usually what I need to do is, if I'm dealing with a more flexible training partner, I'm going to roll through. So again, notice what I'm doing. I'm moving my elbow further forward to give him some flexibility. I could always finish by arching into it, okay? But I want to make sure that this works against even a very high level and a flexible guy. So a lot of times they will roll. So again, I can always tighten it up by bringing my elbow, drawing my elbow back tightens it up, bringing it forward gives him some flexibility. It's still difficult for him to pull it out, but doesn't put the same pressure on the elbow as drawing the elbow back. All right, so let me do it solo. So you can do it solo, but to get real good understanding of this, you will need to do eventually with a partner. So when Enrique starts to turn far away. The bottom foot gets hooked behind the far side arm to make sure he cannot retract it all together and he cannot roll over his shoulder. Then I'm gonna use his body to roll up on my shoulder. All right, notice that what I'm doing with my left arm, if I clamp down on it, it's too tight, okay? I don't wanna keep it too tight until I bring my shin over his head. Here, a lot of times, people will tap if they're inflexible, but I'm gonna lighten up on it again. I'm gonna roll through. And now, again, if I need to lighten up on it, my elbow is forward. If I need to lighten up, it's forward. If I basically decide that I want to finish here, I draw my elbow back and hips forward. But a lot of times I give him a chance. Again, moving my body forward also lightens up on it, allows him to roll. As he rolls, we wind up here. Now I can always just tighten up. All right, and then the amount of force necessary to do that is not very much. Okay, so you don't require a lot of force. So again, it's like this, literally this movement makes the guy go from, oh, it's on. You'll know when you got the guy's attention. So you do need to develop that sensitivity towards your training partners, sort of where is the break point. Different guys are gonna give you different break point depending on their flexibility and body type. So one of the things people don't understand that when you going hard, especially if you're a less skilled guy and particularly strong and use a lot of power, I can make that break point very quick, but I need to shut it down very fast. And people don't understand, well, if I go slow and light, it's easy for you to literally, pull me back in. Well, I'll let you have that if you put your strength on the shelf. If you don't, I'm gonna use my transition speed to make sure that when you're exposed, it stays exposed. So again, for a lot of these submissions that I do, I can shut people down very quickly. If I let you work, it's in a good interest for me because it allows me to see where this might go if you should escape. And it's in best interest of you to see what can you do other than use raw power, because I can shut that down quickly because my angles are such that it's like, oh crap, it's on. There is no, like, I have to do 12 things to get to that point. I'm already there. But it's also good for you because now you can see, okay, well, if I roll, okay, this lightens it up, and Fox followed up with something else. So it allows you to continue to play that human chess a little further than shutting things down too quickly. And that can be done. Mike, you futzing around with the screen. What's going on over there?
Nah, I zoomed in, so it's all dramatically listen to what you're saying.
All right, so let's look at it one more time. So again, this happens. So guys, remember the sprinkler. So this is I call it short arm bar. Some people call it shotgun. I don't like the word shotgun because if anybody actually holds a shotgun, I'm guessing I'm right, but I'm not sure. But your elbow flares out. You kind of hold this like the shotgun like this. I want this instead. This is the key, not this. All right, so I call it short arm bar. Could be with hand on the elbow, could be just by itself. If he turns a little further away, that's a triangle. If it's a lot further away, that's an omoplata. And then the one when he really moves far away, it's a inverted arm bar. Again, it's the armpit grip. Notice what I'm doing with my right foot. It stops him from if I don't do this, he can still use that arm. So I push it out to make sure he cannot retract it. He cannot use it that much. Notice how pull out your arm, Enrique. It's not possible. However, I'm lighting up, and I can I can tighten things up just by this very simple movement. Even if I put my hand on the floor, now I can just use my shin. So a lot of times I can shut it down right here. I lighten up on it. Notice how I lighten up on it. I flared out my elbow. So if you want to keep it tight, don't flare out your elbow. Keep it tight. I lighten up on it, allowing Enrique. This is very tight. I can usually shut it down here by drawing my elbow back and arching into it, but very slowly, guys. You can feel it. It's going to be it's very, very tight. You need to also have a training partner that you trust. That's not a meathead that can move with some control. All right, now if Enrique rolls, I'm sitting up to lighten up on it again. I don't want to break it. I want to settle down. And now, again, I don't need to bring the the leg over. All I need to do is bring my inner thigh in and draw back on my elbow. All right. So I hope these things help you guys out. And guys, again, I sometimes don't have the time to answer all the questions. I try to read all of them. I don't see all of them because I had to download the YouTube app again, but I may delete it. I prefer to go through the browser. I like it better. But
then you just got the pin for it?
Yeah. Mike, how difficult was that?
It wasn't too bad.
You stumbled a few times, right? If Mike is stumbling, guys, I'm falling head first. I'm going right off a cliff. So this was my second time trying to get it. So anyways, if it's on the browser, if the questions appear on the browser, I will try. I tried to read all of them. If they, I can't go to episode 3 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago to see when somebody added a comment. But I usually try to read the most recent ones, and if I cannot answer them, I will try to answer them. What I do, I take a screenshot of it, and I have notes of always starting questions. So I hope, guys, that this is helpful to troubleshoot some of the split guard points. And I will see you guys next Friday. Man, 20.
Butler before, after.
28th, I think. Yes. For season 3, no, season 4, episode 4. That one's going to be easy for me. All right, guys, I will see you next week.